Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. So today on our golf course update here, I will take you around the golf course, show you some stuff I did here yesterday. It is the 2nd, if you believe it or not, the 2nd of August already. This summer has absolutely flown by. So yesterday was the 1st. You'll be seeing this video in a few days from now, from when I'm taping it. So yesterday was a big day. So we got some rain yesterday night. So 2 nights ago we got some rain. It's been just excruciatingly hot here. Excruciatingly hot, excruciatingly dry. A little bit of humidity in there too, here and there. It's been actually very foggy here, driving into work the last few mornings. So with that being said, it had been 2 weeks since I sprayed, so I did need to do a spray on my tee boxes, greens, and fringes yesterday. So that's what I got done in the morning, and lo and behold, by the time I finished that, which was about 8:30, it started to rain at about 10:30. So I'm hoping that the product I put down actually dried a little bit and stuck to the leaf of the plant. My luck, of course, it had to have rained. So we got a nice little soaker a couple nights ago, and then yesterday it proceeded to rain. So we got some rain throughout the day, and it was actually pretty heavy. I'm assuming it was around 3/4 of an inch of rain. I mean, it was just pouring out. So we got some rain, much needed rain. I didn't run irrigation last night because we had just so much rain. And now as I'm driving into work here, there's still a little bit of water sitting in some spots on the road. So that's a good thing. We needed the rain desperately bad. I think there's more rain coming up now on Monday, but that's it. So we kind of hit the dry season here. It is August 2nd today. So if we could just get through basically until Labor Day, and if I have to just minimally run irrigation, which is what I've been doing most of the year, then that's a good thing. I've been running it, with the exception of a few nights, I've been running each head at about 10 minutes per night, which is good. With the exception of greens, I want greens to be a little bit more receptive, so I've been running those a little bit more. But otherwise, it's been very minimal this year, which has been great. It's been great for the energy bill, just because of how much rain we've received earlier in the season. But with that being said, we'll touch on spraying here. So I needed to spray. I just needed to do my normal 2-week spray, as it's disease season right now. We're in the high point of the disease season in Wisconsin. So I started with some humic, just with the typical, you've got a little bit of irrigation going on right now in this farm field. So I started with some humic, which is essentially iron, just to keep the color nice. And then I put down some T-Nex and Paclo, just some essentially some growth regulators that needed to be done. That helps kind of stop the Poa annua growth, the seed heads from seeding up too fast, which is a good thing. And it just controls the growth, so I have to mow less, essentially, on my tees and on my fringes, which is good. And it helps with the greens, keeping them faster at night, less puffy, that type of stuff. So I sprayed that, and then I put in some blue dye. Of course, you need that, just some turf marker. And along with that, I did some wetting agent. That's a must, some surfactant. And along with that, I put down some liquid fertilizer, 1836. And then I put down iPro, propiconazole. And I finally ended with some PPZ. So PPZ and iPro to counteract the dangerously heavy dollar spot that is going on right now. Excuse me, very tired. And other diseases, other turf grass diseases that are going on right now. So that stuff really worked well. I'm not a huge fan of the iPro PPZ, but I needed to mix it up from the chlorothalonil and Tebi that I've been putting down, tebuconazole. So I needed to mix that up. I applied that the last 2 times, so I needed to mix it up with some iPro and PPZ. I love chlorothalonil, although it's a pain in the butt in the sprayer because you need to make sure you clean it out good. It just gobs up and clumps up and stuff. So it clogs up your sprayer. But iPro and PPZ, that works well enough here for the 2-week cycle. I don't like it for the month-long cycle, but I do like it for the 2-week cycle that I'm running right now. So we got those sprayed. As of yesterday when I left, they looked really good. And, greens, tees, and, and fringes. So I got that sprayed. So next on the list yesterday was either to spray fairways again with some 2DQ, which I did not end up doing because I wasn't sure what the rain situation was going to be like. That stuff has to dry on the plant basically for a certain amount of hours before it can take water. And I just wasn't sure. Lo and behold, I could have did it yesterday after it rained, but I wasn't sure because the radar was so spotty back and forth. So essentially what I did, I had about 10 bags extra of fertilizer left over from when I put down some fertilizer here a couple 2-3 weeks ago. So what I ended up doing was just putting a very light application of that fertilizer with Merit on my fairways. So I got that done. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't know why I can't, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Excuse me again. I can't remember off the top of my head the numbers. I don't think it was an 18.36. I want to say it was a 21.06. I can't remember, like I said, off the top of my head. But it did have Merit in it, 0.2% Merit, to counteract the grubs, which are still on the fairways because the crows have been eating them. So I'm thinking this little tiny boost of fertilizer here with the Merit should result in some growing success. And if you watch the other videos, you know that my fairways have been inundated with disease, specifically dollar spot. It has been awful how bad the dollar spot has been this year on fairways. And it looks like they're dry, but they aren't dry. It's just the damn dollar spot that has been negatively affecting the turf. So I'm hoping that now going into August, that with this good growing season still ahead of us, that the turf is essentially, well, it just slowly begins to prepare for fall and winter. It starts to take in those nutrients and help it grow through the dollar spot, which it did before, but now I'm hoping this little bit of extra kind of pushes it to fruition. Because I've been having dollar spot the whole summer, and it's not like I could go out and spray my fairways because that is too costly. I just can't afford to do that. A, it's too expensive, and B, it's too time consuming. I just don't have the time. So I'm really hoping here that switch this, it's so foggy out right now. I'm really hoping that the turf will start to grow back a little bit better, and I don't have to worry about dollar spot going into fall, because I want that good turf grass growth, which theoretically once fall hits we should run out of diseases. But October can be a nasty month sometimes, especially if it's warm in the first week of October. But I'm really hoping here that this kind of helps it grow through. I haven't had to hand water yet. I don't think I'll have to hand water this year, although we do have a month left, so I'm not completely sure what's going to happen. Once we get to about September 8th to 9th, every year, that's when I've stopped hand watering. So we have about a month left. About 30 days left to worry about maybe having to hand water, but the forecast, if it holds true, looks conducive to rain. So hopefully that is the case. Other than that, I've hit almost complete burnout for the year. I'm so exhausted. My coaching hasn't even started up for the fall yet, which is crazy how tired I'm going to be then. But I just hit complete burnout. This is about the time of year when the golf course owner or superintendent or head pro GM starts to hit burnout. I haven't been waking up as early as I was the last couple of years, you know, it's been around 4:15 I've been getting up because I have a little bit of a commute, 20 to 30 minutes going into the golf course. So I have to get up, you know, slightly early enough to get there. I like to be there about 5:30. Today it's a little bit later, which is okay, but I have been getting up here a little bit later, about an hour later this year compared to last year, and it has helped out a little bit, but still, oof, the burnout is real, the struggle is real. This gets to be a lot 7 days a week, and not a lot of people notice that. Clearly, with how much yawning I've been doing in this video, so the burnout is real. All right, guys, we're gonna head out on the course here and see how everything looks and conclude the video. Well, now we're out on the course. It's about 90 degrees out right now, which I've been working in my shop for the last couple hours, and quite frankly, it feels like it's about 70 out right now because of how cool it is. But we're going to just take a look here. I just mowed fairways, so I don't want to drive on them, but they are starting to grow in really nice. That fertilizer that I applied yesterday, that'll take a few days to show up, but you can see some of that dollar spot is finally starting to go away. And now as we drive on a fairway that was very heavily infected, when I got to work this morning, the nights have been about 65 to 70 and very, very humid. So here we go right here in an area that looks like it would be, you know, dry. It's actually quite drenched. You can see there, I mean, that I don't even have to water again tonight. Second night in a row I haven't had to water because of the rain. You know, where it looks like it's dry, it's really not, because of how this dollar spot is just affecting everything. It is astronomical how bad it's been this year. All the roughs, we just mowed roughs yesterday, and the roughs were severely impacted here last night. You could just see it forming on the roughs. I mean, prime example, it doesn't look as bad now, but all those little brown spots, you know, stuff like that, you could tell right there, that's all dollar spot. That's all disease, and we don't like disease around here. So I'm not going to run irrigation tonight. I've got an event tomorrow that I'm playing in, and you know, quite frankly, I'm not going to run it because it looks good, and I play scratch golf on the side of my primary job here, so I want to win it tomorrow, to tell you the honest truth. So I'm going to let it get a little bit more dry overnight here. I'm not going to water the greens either. It was questionable whether I will or not, but I want to win tomorrow, so I'm going to dry them out and really get them fast. And, you know, they're still going to be pretty responsive, but you could see here the greens are perfectly colored right now. That T-Nex and Paclo that I've been putting down, areas where Poa annua would be just taking over, like right there. And you'd be able to see that in my previous videos from spring. You know, it's really I can't even talk. The growth regulator has really counteracted this Poa annua, which has been tremendous to overall green conformity, to overall rolling of the greens, just the smoothness of the greens and the speed of the greens. So now when we go out and play league at night at 5:30 and 7 o'clock, you know, you're not dealing with that puffiness of the greens like you would be at some other places, which is great. So everything is a uniform length, uniform growth, and the twice weekly or the bi-weekly application of T-Nex and Paclo has really helped with the control of the growth here. So just taking a look at it here, the golf course is really shaping up nice. The fairways just look excellent here. I don't know if it's coming through on the iPhone or not, but I'm very impressed with them. I'm very impressed with the fertilizer I put down, and I'm very impressed with how the greens have sustained here. And quite frankly, this isn't the best way to look here, but if you look at the edge of the cup, you can still see this is more than moist enough to not have to water tonight, which is a good thing for being August 2nd today. August 2nd, and I don't have to water. I mean, it is just amazing how much rain we've got this spring and summer now, and going into fall. So hopefully here the rain continues and it gets set up for next year. But overall, very happy with the spray I did. Very happy with the oh gosh, with the fertilizing I did, because right now the parts of the golf course that aren't protected with fertilizer or spray, and you could still see it in some of the fairways, they're just getting inundated with dollar spot. This is the worst season I've ever seen for disease on turf grass, and I've been in the industry now for 13 years, which is crazy. So this is by far the worst season I've ever seen for turf grass disease in the last 13 years of me doing it. And I've been very glad that I've been able to keep up on spraying, fertilizing, have the means necessary to do that. So without further ado, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. So, hey, thanks for watching. Take care, and I will do another update soon.